Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, TheRumpledOne, coming to you on Tuesday, April the 19th. The year's 2022. Let's talk trading. Master of One, Part 7. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine. I watched a video that featured Steve Jobs, the one of the former founders and leaders of Apple. You may have heard of that company before. He was talking about focus, and what he said about focus is saying no. And I pondered that for a while. I thought, I understand that, because when you master one thing, you say no to the others, to all other things. In other words, that's how you stay focused. You're on one thing and something else comes up and you say no. You're paying attention to one thing, but something else tries to catch your eye, some shiny object, and you say no. You stay true to your course. You stay true to your plan, true to your method. And it sounds really simple. So why is it we just can't say no? I mean, that's an individual question, or a question for each individual. I know sometimes I don't say no because of curiosity. It's in my nature to seek out things that I see that's like, that looks interesting. But when you're trading, in other words, when you're actually clicking the mouse and putting money on the line, it doesn't really work very well. You have to stick to your plan, your method. Because, as I've said before, we don't know the outcome when we enter a trade. We don't know if it's going to be a winner or a loser. So we have to stay focused, read what the market's doing in real time. If the market smiles upon us and gives us an opportunity to take profit, we take it. If it doesn't, then we hopefully recognize sooner or later that we're not going to have an opportunity to take profit anytime soon. So we exit the trade. And I think it boils down to those things. I talked about first principles. I think that's what it boils down to. Well, looking at the monthly chart, you can see we put in a new monthly low, looks like today, or close to it. We're at 29.91. We broke the 130. And we're 142 pips below the monthly open, and only 19 off the low, 175 off that monthly high. Well, I guess we didn't quite put in a new monthly low looking at the week here. But we're 53 pips off the weekly open, 75 off or 74 now off the high, and 10 off the low. But all the weekly gaps have filled. We broke out of the opening range for the week, which was 130.04. And you can see, if you look left, we're in wick zone territory on the daily chart here. We're below the opening range for the month, which is also below the opening range for the year. And we are, speaking of the year, we're 536 pips below the yearly open. And so far, we've got 4 red days in a row. that inside bar from Good Friday. You see we barely touched, or almost touched. We missed it by 3 points to be exact, the low of that inside bar. And there's some inside bar action to be had on the dailies, as you can see. Not so much on the weekly, though, and a few on the monthly. Range for the pound today is only 60, though we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 pairs over 100 pips. Just the pound isn't one of them. Take a quick peek here. Notice the dollar yen's up to 128. Remember when it was at 125 and dropped down to 121? There's some opportunity there, that's for sure, to pick it going back up. In fact, let's just take a quick look at that daily chart. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 days in a row. Just to let you know, you can see here that says 10, but it's actually 13. 10's the biggest number that these icons or semaphores have. So that's why it says 10 instead of 13. But as you can see, the yen's really took off today. That just makes me curious. And you can see the week, 7 in a row, month, 2 in a row. And let's put that back where it was, back to the pound. Looks like buy zone traders were rewarded, short on the buy side and the sell side. You can see that last cross below the daily open gave an opportunity right here to go short zone, and we're back down. Notice, looking left, we've got wicks again. Green rats, get ready. The range is large enough. And it looks, just looking here, that looks like a return bar to me. It says price near S1 bias is long. We're pretty much right, just pip below S1 the last 2 times that paid off. Let's see if third time pays off again. On the pivots, we took out the daily. We took out the weekly this week, but we still haven't taken out the monthly. In and out of the lower wick zone. On some of, here's on the lowest high, highest low trade, you can see we triggered once here. That was only good for maybe a pip. The last time was good for approximately, what, 4, maybe 5 pips on that last move, and we're just got triggered again. But one thing that I've noticed, if you're trading these semaphores, if you use this feature, if you turn that on, don't go against the bias. Even if it's a 1 ball, just don't go against the bias. That's a good good trading rule to have, keep you out of trouble. So in other words, trade with the bias. And on this, the price action simple screen with the sweet spot indicator with the Walmart lines put in. You see we broke out of the Walmart line this hour at the 1:30.00. We also broke out of the previous H1 low. And you can see here over the last 4 hours, the range on H1's been above 20. We actually have hit the ATR zones, but because of Friday, we're going to have this low ATR. Very narrow. But still, if you notice, if you wait for it to get into these ATR ranges, there's a payoff. And just looking at the what I like to call my map, there was a huge return bar here that got taken out. There was a return bar there that got taken out, which makes this a return bar. And this one also looks like a return bar to me. And if you notice, there was an inside bar, this H4 bar right here. And if you trade it the break of the high or break of the low, you can see those trades paid off. And we're back to the 130 level. And once again, just using something simple. And I was using this screen to reply to a trader on Crestlick. So if you remember, I mentioned don't trade against the one. So here, when it came and you saw a new one, that indicates that it was a breakout. And so you can see here, that was a nice break of probably about 6 or 7 pips. So right now I wouldn't trade long unless it either puts in another semaphore at the bottom or starts to break the semaphore at the top. So, fellow trader, once again, what is focus? Focus is saying no. Saying no to many things and only saying yes to the one thing. I'd be curious if you would answer in the YouTube comment sections, and I'm sure other traders might be curious also. What is the one thing that you're going to focus on? Or the one thing that you do focus on? There's no right or wrong answer, but I'd be curious if you would share. So, fellow traders, just remember, when you're at your trading platform and you're about to click the mouse, make sure you're focused, because it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is TheRumpledOne, over and out.